Hi, Thida. Let's take a look at your newest set of essays. Online communication is more common. Let's see what you said about this. The issue of the superiority of online chat over in person conversation has grown in importance over recent years. Okay, I want you to be careful here. Better would be the plural. The issue of the superiority of online chats over in person conversations. Okay? I am also sure that online conversations will be superior, okay, to face-to-face communication. This essay will argue the positive and negative points using examples from the UK government and Cambridge University to demonstrate points and prove arguments. All right, I was a little confused by that second sentence. Let's see if we can clean it up so it feels a little more cohesive. The issue of the superiority of online chats over in-person conversations has grown in importance over recent years. In my opinion, online conversations are superior and will continue to be so. Necessity will argue, etc., etc. That's it. Okay, so for me, this feels a little more cohesive, but the way you wrote it, like superior, superior, face to face, I mean, it just felt really very repetitive. Okay, so let's clean it up. Let's continue, rather. On the one hand, there are many good points about using the internet to communicate, not commute. Careful, different word. All right, let's fix that. There are many good points about using the internet to communicate. The main reason behind this is that online communication keeps people in contact with each other. Okay, how about this? When face-to-face communication is impossible, such as during the lockdown. You see, this is just an example. So don't frame it in such a way that it's like a given here, okay? Let's try it again. The main reason behind this is that online communication keeps people in contact with each other when they cannot be face to face, such as during the COVID lockdown. Because of this, people can overcome loneliness. Okay, the loneliness and isolation they have experienced during the pandemic. Secondly, young learners are able to attend their classes virtually and continue their learning process without any delay. For example, recent empirical research by the UK government mentioned that nearly 2/3 of participants really enjoyed studying virtually. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that an online platform is also the best method of education and communication in this difficult period of the pandemic. All right, let's talk about what is a problem here. Online communication is now more common than face-to-face meetings in many workplaces. So we're talking about work. We're talking about the workplace. We're talking about online communication. And what does that mean? It means things like email. It means things like chat. It means things like Hangouts, Zoom, all of these things that many of us are using in our day-to-day life. But in work. So here, where you start talking about school, this is irrelevant. Here, where you start talking about loneliness, also irrelevant. We're talking about the world of work, getting things done, meetings, communicating with colleagues, communicating with partners, clients, etc. So this is what you're supposed to be focusing on. I felt like some of your examples here were not relevant. Okay. And so this irrelevance is going to have an effect on your task achievement score because they weren't really talking about work. They were talking about loneliness and they were talking about school. Okay. So let's see. Let's continue. On the other hand, face-to-face communication has its own value. It cannot be denied that interactive discussion is more meaningful and powerful when people have in-person conversations. In addition, how about this? Colleagues can develop a good relationship by looking at each other's facial expressions. All right, explain to me why. Despite the fact that there are interactions and social relationships that online communications conversations cannot give to people, they tend to get experience from using them. I don't understand that sentence, I'm afraid. This was confusing to me. Here. For instance, society can have many more lively interactive debates and chats on the internet than in-person talks. So people can also be trained to be competent with interpersonal communication skills by practicing them online. I don't understand this. So even though this essay, this paragraph here is talking about in-person conversations and how wonderful they are and how we need them, all of a sudden you're talking about getting experiences online, having interactive debates and chats online. So I don't understand what the central idea of this paragraph is. And that, of course, is going to affect your coherence and cohesion score. So there's not really a clear progression. I don't understand what you're trying to tell us here, what the central message is. And so then that creates a problem. Let's keep going. From the arguments and examples given, I strongly believe that communication with different people via the internet is far more useful than face-to-face chats, as the former can maintain a long-lasting relationship and can continue to pursue the former communication via the internet. Okay. And can not pursue, that's the wrong word, and can continue to provide academic skills where, yeah. It is predicted that online communication will increase in importance. Okay. So I kind of had a problem with the direction this essay took. So let's go back up here. You said that online will be superior, fine. You said you're going to talk about both, fine. So you said that this was all about online communication, your first paragraph, your first body paragraph. And you said how wonderful it was. You said about loneliness, and you talked about loneliness and school, which we said was a little problematic. And then you said here in the next paragraph, you were talking about face-to-face communication and how important facial expressions are in nonverbal communication. But then here you lost me. And in the next sentences, you also lost me. So I really wasn't sure what you were trying to tell me. Okay? So yeah, it's an essay that has some problems both in terms of task achievement and coherence and cohesion. So I want you to work on those a little bit. Let's take a look at this pie chart about school subjects. Let's see what you said. I don't really agree with your paragraph in here. It's too many paragraphs. A good rule of thumb is 3. So you should have 1 paragraph which includes your introduction and your overview, and then 2 paragraphs for your details. Let's see what you wrote. The pie chart illustrates the not famous, most popular subjects in German schools during 2017. The subjects given are fine. Generally, PE was the most popular subject, while IT was the least liked. All right, well known and popular are not the same thing here. So, while IT was the less liked in the schools in Germany. I took out 1. At a closer look in detail, 22.9% of respondents chose PE as their favorite subject in school, followed closely by history at 22.4%. In contrast, the least favorite category was IT, accounting for 3.7%, which was 2 times higher. Are you sure? Let's see, geography. No, which was half the figure of geography, actually a little less than half. So the least favorite category was IT, accounting for 3.7%, which was 2 times less than geography. On the other hand, nearly 1/5 of all respondents enjoyed studying maths and physics at 19.5 and 18.1 respectively, showing less popular or let's see, how could you say this? Scoring less popular than PE and history in school. That would have been okay. To sum up, the percentages of both PE and history occupied Nearly half of the chart representing the most popular subjects in different schools, whereas only a little less than 5% of the participants liked to choose IT as their desired subject. Okay, I'm actually okay with this. I thought you did a lot of this nicely. I feel like you've been following some of the suggestions that I've made in maybe previous essays we've done together. So I thought you did a good job. I want you to combine these two paragraphs. Um, I understand why you did this. Maybe you could have just put these two paragraphs together and then had a separate one to summarize. It's okay. That would have been fine, but this definitely felt like too many paragraphs for me. Paragraphing is not really important in task one unless you're aiming for like a band 8 in coherence and cohesion, but keep it in mind as it's something you might want to think about moving forward. All right. So nice job. Keep at it. Keep going. Keep working. And let's see another set of essays from you. So good luck.